Now, with the labeling, you can put a line. I usually just have an imaginary line because in reality there is no line, so I'm going to put a dotted line, but it's just for me to know, to show you that there's two sides. On one side you follow the X pattern, you put a, like I put a win-win, which is a unity frame, and then there's the win-lose, which is the frame we're coming out of, where we learn to use separation, and hopefully the right use of separation. Well, we must have done something right because we managed to get through the illusions of the game. I'm making an arrow now, and on the center I just go make a bigger circle around the center and then go to the edge where I'm going for the arrow. And all this corrugation I'll be cutting around. I can actually use it as part of my arrow. And if this is an artwork thing, it's you can make it beautiful. I'm trying to do this so that I don't bore you to tears and can let you get to yours. I'll show just one, and you do two of these, and if you have, and I cut around real general, and again the same reason is for it's much easier to use the punch if you have a punch, and you don't need to have a punch on this. Are we done yet? Are we done yet? Can I go? Can I go? Hang on just a minute. And you can do your own. Yeah, basically. Those who have trouble with tools, you focus on the pressure where your hand meets the tool. And even though you're moving it by your eyes, it's the actual feeling of the resistance in your hand that makes tools usable. Not everybody is tool friendly, and that's one way that makes a big difference. Painting, paint brushes, drawing, everything. That the actual feeling the pressure where it meets the tool is the key, not the conforming it or whatever, and then it works with you of your own imagination. Oh, yeah, it's easier if I punch it first, and this happens to be a little punch, which probably bigger punch would work better, but it really doesn't matter because it'll work just fine. Hand, and because they're all of the same hole, they'll line up, which is nice. Brads, you know how they work for brads. One's a little bit longer than the other, and there you have it. Now, I start in this position and put the filter through in my imagination and then see how it comes out. Right now, but different people operate in different things. So, you know, they don't, the integrity is the important part. It's when you get one thing here and another thing down here. Of course, here's an angel's in sheep's clothing. She said, "Oh, I'm real tough and mean and all this," and here she's always working for you, or he. And over here, if you have a win-win and a win-lose and it gets extreme, this goes off to warn you that what they're saying, oh, I'm going to help you and I'm in your best interest, and they're setting it up for win-lose. And that means that just that. Remember, you can get creative and do it the way you want to do it. There's no, you know, this is just, let your own creativity come forth. Push pause while you gather the materials. Once we have it made, then the fun begins. Well, sometimes it's not so fun, but you're checking yourself for conflicts between your thinking and your action. It's fun to check out TV personalities in their latest advertisements, or better yet, TV evangelists, to see if their preacher of brotherly love is from a unity frame or comes from a separative frame of, and this meter will show that very fast. Another redirect, another use of this meter is you use the intention for discriminating between timeless and timed activities. So sometimes before you bring it from the timeless, it's timing in the now, and whether it's needed in the now, whether you're trying to sort things out, separate them into groups, or you're trying to integrate things. And it's important so that you know what you're doing. Sometimes, well, they're both appropriate at different times and both inappropriate at different times. Another redirect, and you take your meter and to spot sabotage or wolves in sheep's clothing. They say one thing and they do another. In your peer group, sometimes we gather around us, people are drawn to us for not necessarily the right reason, and we don't realize it. And so this will pick that up, because it'll go on sabotage where their ideas or what they say doesn't line up with what they do. Remember, it's always different overlapping aspects of yourself that are doing the sensing, which means that if you don't have some of that in you, you can't sense it in others. And in other words, you can't get too mad at people because you realize that you have some aspect of what you're sensing in you that they're demonstrating if it's not to your liking. So stay out of the judgment area. Just use it as a okay and proceed accordingly. Our next exciting chapter on YouTube is Sprouting 7, Angelic Connection. See you there.